call. Yes. There seemed to be some question in my mind and when it is I'm supposed to go to court. Yes. The date and time that was given to me was 9:28 at 2 p.m. Now, I know it's not that important to you, but sometimes I start to wonder if somebody isn't intentionally trying to cause me to not be able to get to the bus so that I could get back. Now, when you only have one meal a day on Tuesdays, it's kind of like I haven't eaten since yesterday, at noon. Yeah. It seems that those in law enforcement don't really care about if people eat. Mm. Now, I just thought I should look here because I just wanted to know exactly what bus was I going to take. Somebody said, well, actually, he's going to be there. Or we're going to put him in jail again, and then we're going to violate his rights, and we're going to admit him to a mental institution. Yes. Now, the last bus will depart Haines 5:50. Ouch. Arrive at 6:38. Boy, that is cutting it close, isn't it? What if the hearing goes for longer than a couple hours? I mean, do you consider that well, I just wanted to make sure that you're not intentionally causing me to have to miss a bus so that I can't have a meal, so that I will have to spend all night in Jefferson County and I'd have to stay in the homeless shelter. Now, I was real sure about this, and whomever it was that decided to change the court date without calling me, I have a phone here. Yes. In fact, I used it earlier today. It's 2:44, I think I got here. 2:34. But I was kind of looking at this respondent not receiving actual notice of the hearing. Yes. And the respondent was or was not present at the hearing. Yes. And the court did not have jurisdiction over the parties, the minors, and the subject matter, and the respondent did not have reasonable notice and an opportunity to be heard. Yeah. Now, yesterday we talked about this whole, well, we attempted service on the respondent, not served and not served, so as to make it look like that you were actually trying to protect my rights, but I had sent you an email yesterday. When you do not serve somebody, they're not actually served. And you could say that you attempted service as many times you want, but if you don't get actual notice and an opportunity to be heard, yes, respondent had reasonable notice and an opportunity to be heard. If you don't get that reasonable notice, then you don't have an opportunity to be heard. And then this morning I was talking to you about this whole idea of obligating people to spend their money, to do what the court says, without giving them any actual right to consent or not consent. I haven't gotten a phone call. Are we going to have another afternoon where law enforcement doesn't see the fraud because they just don't want to admit that the court did not have jurisdiction over the parties, the minors, and the subject matter? The respondent did not have reasonable notice and an opportunity to be heard. Notice of the hearing was not served on the respondent by personal service, service by mail, or service by publication. The respondent did not receive actual notice of the hearing. Are we going to have a problem? Now, the order was not issued in accordance with the full faith and credit provisions of the VAWA 18 USC 2265. That means that when you said not served and not served, yes, I was not served. And then what it means is when you decided to issue the court order without actually serving me, you made a condition that if I wanted to visit with my sons, and there's some attorneys say, well, he could have supervised visitation. Oh, well, when we take it all the way back to July 8th of 2011, yes, let's go through it again. I was not served on July 8th of 2011 to July 22nd of 2011. I was not served from July 22nd to 2011 to August 12th of 2011, I was not served. I was not a resident of the state of Washington. Now, you put mental health evaluation and treatment if recommended. Who is going to pay for the mental health evaluation? Seemed that the court was kind of stuck on this whole concept that I had to be crazy, but I wasn't an actual resident. My wife had abducted my sons, and instead of giving me my actual notice and opportunity to be heard, you obligated me to do something that you didn't have the legal right to do. Now, motion hearing, Judge Ken Williams. Did Superior Court Judge Ken Williams sign that permanent protection order where he realized that my rights as the respondent were not protected? And you're refusing to remove a protection order from 2011 where you did not protect the rights of the respondent. Now, we can go through each and every court hearing of every temporary and permanent court order where you never had me appear in court because you never did what the actual requirements of the law are. Now I'm kind of thinking somebody's bet. Did you bet that I didn't have another lawsuit today? Oh, did you see the 2 lawsuits from this morning? Yes. Actually, there were 3 lawsuits. If you watch the videos very carefully, how much is the bet today? You don't think I have another lawsuit? Well, we already talked about the minute order is not a part of the actual laws of the RCWs. Yes. Then you reissued the protection order on 5/31 of 2012. After you arrested me and served me. And then you reissued it by minute order. Yes. But you did not give me any actual notice between 5/31 and 6/15. Yes. And I put that screen print about when you issue temporary protection order. In fact, I put the actual instructions from the state of Washington. Did you get the email?